Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock and we got a full agenda today. So we call this meeting to order, and I would ask Ms. Nancy Miller to come up and do the invocation for us, please.
With the holiday season upon us, the music at the mall announces that folks are dreaming of a white Christmas. That may be true, but in reality, many people are dreaming of something else white, a little more white space on their calendars. Pageants, parties, shopping trips, baking days, wrapping presents. At every turn, there are people to see and things to do. The hustle and bustle of this supposed happy season can knock the holly jolly right out of our holidays and replace it with a hurried up headache instead. As a result, our calendars become overloaded, crowding out the spiritual significance of the holidays. Whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or any other celebration, we need to step back and see where it is that we are heading. Is it the path we want, and is our time devoted to the direction our heart desires? Let us pray the words of Cardinal Richard Cushing. Slow me down, Lord, ease the pounding of my heart by the quieting of my mind. Steady my hurried pace with a vision of the eternal reach of time. Give me, amid the confusion of the day, the calmness of the everlasting hills. Slow me down, Lord, and inspire me to send my roots deep into the soil of life's enduring values, that I may grow toward the stars of my greater destiny. Amen.
As we do at every meeting, we have guests to start the meeting before our official meeting starts. And today we're happy to have 2 scholarship recipients. I don't know who's presenting, but it's that time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So good to see so many here for this exciting occasion. The Scholarship Review Committee, of which I'm a member, has 2 new scholarships to present today. I want, first of all, to do a very quick review of the program for those of you who are new or those of you who are old and have just forgotten what it's about, which is, that happens to some of us, doesn't it, sometimes? More than a year ago, a group of very dedicated residents started meeting to develop the scholarship program for Cedarfield. It was part of the 25th anniversary celebration of Cedarfield First, but it's now a permanent part of Cedarfield. Funds for the scholarships have been provided by residents, by part of the members of the leadership team of Cedarfield, and also for several families of residents who wanted to honor team members for their service. The scholarship provides educational assistance to those team members who want to grow in their careers at Cedarfield. It's a benefit we can offer in this very competitive employment market. I want to thank the residents who have served on the Scholarship Action Team for their hard work in reading applications and in supporting the program. So far, we have awarded 25, actually more than 25 scholarships, and we're pleased to award these 2 today. We wish there were more, but with the workforce shortages, it's not easy for team members to make time for outside education. It's always exciting to read the applications written by our team members and get a glimpse into their hopes, their dreams for their careers, and how education can play a part in helping them achieve these dreams. How it works is that each interested team member fills out an application for a scholarship. The names have been removed from these applications so we don't know who is applying, and supervisors must sign off on the application indicating that they support this team member's career goals. Also, the applicants need to write an essay about why they want to be a Cedarfield Scholar. There are 7 residents on this committee. We score each application based on the goals, how the education will help them serve the Cedarfield community and its residents. Today, we are delighted to present to you our 2 latest Cedarfield Scholars. Elvira Seghetti, one of the members of our Scholarship Review Committee team, will share a bit about our first awardee.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Aaliyah Mbodo from Dining Services. Aaliyah, will you join me? Aaliyah, one of our Dining Services servers, has been awarded a scholarship to a driving school to obtain her driver's license. She wrote, "Being able to drive has been one of my goals since I was a sophomore in high school. Because of the pandemic, driver's education in high school was canceled. Right now, I have to rely on my dad to drive me to work. If I get my license, I can drive my mom and me to work and continue to be at Cedarfield to provide great service to the residents. This scholarship will serve as a big motivation for me to try my best and achieve my goals little by little, starting with getting my license." And now I would like to introduce Sylvia Fine from the Scholarship Application Committee to introduce our next winner.
Thank you. And Lori, won't you come on down? I am very pleased to present Lori Andrews, Move-In Coordinator in Maintenance and Facilities. Lori is receiving a renewal scholarship. It's her 4th. She's going to be receiving certification in interior design, and in her application, Lori wrote, "With this certificate, I will be able to support Cedarfield's residents and families as they move into our community, move to different levels of care, or transfer in and out of households as we complete our expansion projects. This is not an easy job." These courses have increased her knowledge, this is what she wrote in her application, for space planning, use of color, and maintaining a safe, comfortable environment for all of our residents, no matter what level of care they're in at the time. We are very pleased to have Lori share a little bit more about her journey. And first, Lori, can I give you this? Very nice.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you so much. And thank you all. I just wanted to take a few minutes to share with you all how much this scholarship really means to me. Access to these funds has given me the opportunity to pursue a lifelong dream of a potential career in interior design. Although my position here at Cedarfield is not a designer in the traditional sense that you all know, but the classes have given me the knowledge to have a more professional understanding of design goals and knowledge to have a more professional understanding of design goals of residents like you moving into and around our community. Many of you have designers of your own and often include them when planning your new residence. That's when I have the most fun. These classes have given me the knowledge and understanding to work in conjunction with those designers to achieve your desired outcomes. In conjunction with those designers, oops, sorry, I'm not good at this. In my role, I get to enjoy watching your visions come to fruition as you prepare to move into your new homes. Thank you again for the opportunity to be a lifelong learner and achieve my professional goals. Thank
Thank you, Lori. We all wish you well, and we're so happy that you're here with us. I'd like to introduce now Frank Moncastle. He is chair of the Scholarship Fundraising Committee.
Thank you, Sylvia, and thank you, Aaliyah and Lori for these awards. And it's great to have a car and be able to drive. That's wonderful. It's good to have somebody in the staff who knows interior design. So it's just wonderful. And a great big thank you to everybody who supported the Scholarship Fund. It's been a great honor to see it grow and increase in value. Your generosity has enabled us to make these awards, now 27 of them, and it means so much to the staff and means so much to us to have people increase their skills and help us in Cedarfield. Dean and I are very much committed to the Scholarship Fund, and we believe in the power of education, not only to help team members grow professionally and earn more money, but so they can use their skills and expertise in serving the Cedarfield community. The Scholarship Fund here at Cedarfield has grown through residents and their families making gifts that are grateful, and we are grateful to many of you who made gifts in November through the online matching program. This was DuPont has a foundation that tries to encourage people to make grants online by using their debit card or credit card. It's very easy to do, and we had a wonderful success during November. Many of you went ahead and made those contributions online, and I think the total gift is in the range of $15,000. Is that right, Allison? Including the match. So that's wonderful, and you know, we really encourage you to go ahead and make room in your budget for the Scholarship Committee. I don't know if you know all the people who are members, but Jan Leeton, Dick Sessions, Sylvia, Elsa Falls and Don Falls, Ann Williams, Russ Hanson, Elvira, Nancy Bolio. So we have a good committee. It's a committee that was formed here at Cedarfield by the residents, and they do the planning, the applications, make the approvals. And the money stays here at Cedarfield to help our employees, so that's great. So if you're interested in knowing anything more about the Scholarship Committee, contact any of us. Of course, you can always go to Allison, she's here all the time, but if you wanted to talk to us, we'd be glad to do it too. So once again, many thanks to and congratulations to Aaliyah and Lori. I think it's wonderful. And Mike, thanks for letting us be on the program today.
Next up is Ann Williams to talk about the holiday party.
A holiday party for our team members will be held here tomorrow, Thursday, December 8th, between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. This is the party that we residents give once a year for all of our hardworking team members as a way of saying thank you. Those of you living in even-numbered apartments and cottages, as you well know, are the ones who will be providing the food for the party tomorrow, and you'll bring the food to this door between 11:30 and 1:30. Then it'll be on the tables ready for our guests. Food should be bite-sized and finger food. Please be sure to let our guests get to the tables and the chairs first. It is their party. Thank you.
Up next is Tom Maxwell, and he's going to make us walk somewhere, I think. Across America this time, I believe.
Hey, Tom, I saw this sign with all these national parks. What's this all about?
Well, Alice, after the rush of the holidays, it's easy to lay down and be a couch potato for the winter, and then come out of hibernation in the spring. That's not very healthy for our mind and body, so we came up with a virtual walk a few years ago that will get folks out of their apartments and cottages during this non-busy time of the year to get some exercise.
A virtual walk? Where are we walking?
I've laid out a route that starts at Glacier National Park in Montana, and we will walk through 30 of the 63 national parks in America. You need to dust off your hiking boots and get your National Parks Passbook out, because we're going to go through a lot of them. We will be traveling a grand total of 10,912 miles in 6 weeks. This is a very challenging walk, and we need everyone to participate, both residents and team members.
Okay, so I'm a little confused. How does this work?
Well, each person who participates will pick up a step sheet every week in the residence mailroom, where you will record your daily steps starting with Sunday and going through the following Saturday. There'll be a box in the residence mailroom that is marked where you will put these. Each Sunday you can pick up a new step sheet after you turn in your previous week's sheet. I will pick up the completed sheets in the box beginning each Sunday and record your steps. It's important to sign your name on the sheet you submit. I want to say this again. Every year I get 5 or 6 each week who don't sign their names, so please sign your names on each one. Once I have your steps, I enter the data into a spreadsheet and convert the steps to miles. Actually, you can either put down miles or steps. Adding up the miles for everyone that participates, I can calculate where we are on our route. We will then report our location to the community on channel 974.
Do I have to compete against everyone? Does it matter how far I personally walk?
We do not compete against each other, but walk together as a community to accomplish a goal. Your individual steps are kept confidential. Of course, the more you walk, the more exercise you get, so encourage everyone to do their best during this 6-week period. Depending on your physical ability, we have had some folks who only walk 3 to 4 miles a week using a rollator, while we've had others walk as much as 50 miles a week. The idea is that we walk together as a community and get some exercise at the same time.
Okay, but how do I keep track of my steps? I don't think I can remember to count every step. What do I do?
Good question. There are a couple different ways. We have a recommendation for a pedometer that costs $25 and has worked well over the years. So now is the time to ask Santa for a pedometer, if you don't have one. If you have questions, give me a call and I can give the ordering information to you. Or you can have Carol Thompson order one for you and have it charged to your account. Finally, if you have a smartphone, you can put the app Pedometer++ on your phone and just keep it in your pocket.
It records your steps for each day and keeps track of them for a year or so. It's simple to use and very accurate.
How will we know where we are?
Well, that happens in a couple ways. Most days we will post a slide on channel 974 that gives you some fun facts about the national parks we have walked to. At the beginning of each week, we will post where we are on the maps located in the hub in the mailroom, in the hub and the mailroom. Along with that, each week I will put together a summary slide of how many miles we have all walked together and where we are.
What if I have some pictures of places that we will be traveling to, or have some special fun facts about a specific national park?
I would love to get some additional information from folks, which would greatly cut down on my research time. I have to rely either on my own experience or find something on the internet. I have found that this is pretty well-traveled group, so I'd really like to hear from you. Please email pictures of your experiences to me, and I will try to incorporate them into one of the daily slides. My email address is in the directory. We will also be talking with dining services to see if they can provide a camp-out night in the dining room. Also, this year, Catron will be showing The National Parks, America's Best Idea, a PBS series by Ken Burns. There are 6 series in this, there are 6 sessions in this series, so she will be showing one each week.
When does it start?
January 1st. So Sunday falls on the first week. We do this first week of January for 6 weeks. This year it starts on Sunday.
And how do I sign up?
There are 2 sign-up folders. One is located in the residence mail room, the other one in the hub. Please sign up. We need as many people as possible.
It sounds like so much fun. Let's do this.
Thank you.
If you have a smartphone, Apple, it's also got a health app on there. It's already on the phone, and it just tracks your steps daily. Next up is Beth Long to talk about Cedar Chest. And by the way, Tom, I think you can make a place for Anonymous as a walker.
That's a cop-out. The Cedar Chest anticipates an impressive finish to 2022. At the start of our fiscal year, July 1st, our balance was $9,202. Even after our shop had to go dark 1 week so that we could switch inventory from summer to fall, we're finishing November with a balance of $11,909. And that's after, hold the applause, that's after a contribution was made to the Arts Council. Recent sales highlighted Thanksgiving, Christmas, and gifting. And many of those Christmas sweaters you see so proudly displayed by our residents are courtesy of your efforts to recycle. In fact, donations of clothing and housewares have been almost as robust as our sales. A reminder, please, unless it's 10 a.m. to 11:30 on alternate Thursdays, please don't leave your donated treasures in the hall outside our shop on the 2nd floor, which is near B Wing. Housekeeping will literally clean house if we aren't open to take those items in. So check Touchdown and 974 to stay informed. In addition to the furniture sale at the end of October, one special effort during the past several months was the art sale, which I mentioned before. That resulted in more than $2,073 donated to the Arts Council. Going forward, be on the lookout for future pop-up sales, special discounts, maybe furniture sales and other enticements to refresh our homes and spruce up our closets heading into the post-holiday season. As always, warmest thanks for your ongoing support, and please visit our last, final, maybe, pre-Christmas sale on December 15th, and you'll find just what you didn't know you needed at ridiculously low prices. This is your chance to bring an outside friend or relative to shop and treat them to lunch in the atrium. Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Michelle, you're up. It's no surprise that we have a report from VACRA today.
She has applications.
Good afternoon. This is going to be a very short report. VACRA invited the full membership to a brunch social on November the 18th. We wanted to thank the membership for their support and enthusiasm for VACRA and for all the sponsored programs. We didn't have a program that day. We didn't have a business meeting that day. So why did we meet? We wanted to have a good time. We wanted to eat together. We wanted to socialize and get to know each other a little better. And we did. We had a marvelous time. We had prizes. We even signed up a new member and had a lot of renewals. So that was great. All in all, it was a success and a good time. And we need to thank Barbara Fiske for planning, arranging, and taking care of every single detail to make our first social event a big success. Our December meeting will not be a social. Our December meeting will be at 10 a.m. in the fellowship on December the 16th, and we will have Stephanie Burkham, who is the Director of Human Resources here at Cedarfield, as our speaker. Please come. All residents are invited. I expect you would probably have questions, so please bring them. Our membership continues to grow, and we are now the second largest chapter in the Commonwealth. We have come a long way from the 7 members we had 14 months ago. We now have 158 members. We will continue to grow, and we welcome you who are not members to join us. To join us to promote and to protect all residents' interests and to have our voice heard. Don't forget, what do we say after each report? There is strength in numbers. Thanks.
Thanks, Charlotte. Okay, now we can get on with the meeting at hand, and first thing is we need approval of the minutes. Can I hear a motion? A second? Second. All in favor? Aye. So approved. I have just a few small comments today. I know many of us were surprised to learn the sudden departure of Paul Gregg. I enjoyed working with him, and I want to wish him all the best in his future endeavors. We're fortunate today to have the interims, I guess we call these guys, because we're going to, as you know, we're going to have an interim director here sometime soon. I think it was announced. But in the meantime, we've got the bosses at Pinnacle to be here on a regular basis. And I don't know that everybody knows Dan Nyman, who is the Chief Operating Officer. Dan, stand up over here. Yeah. And I think everybody knows the other gentleman standing beside him, Michael Shaw, will be here on a regular basis. Would you guys like to speak, or no? Dan?
I'll always speak, Mike.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for inviting us to attend. I appreciate that. We've always, when I've been in the community, I've always attended resident association meetings and got a lot out of it. Excuse me, I'm not usually accused of talking low. And so I've always attended resident association meetings, and I appreciate being invited. You know, there's a gentleman sitting in the back of the room, Don, I'm going to get you. Dr. Branson, and I go back years and years. He was my medical director when I was at Westminster Canterbury in Lynchburg back in 2004. And so had spent a lot of time with Dr. Branson back in the day. And I'm pleased that you're sitting here today watching over us. As Mike said, we're going to be here on site almost daily. If things come up, some things came up yesterday, and I want you to know we've already resolved two of the issues that came up in yesterday's meeting. One of the most significant issues with somebody trying to get a bed in memory care. And so we really want to be on top of things. We don't want things to get left. And it's all about communicating with you and you with us. So if there's things that come up, please contact us, call us, email us, text us, whatever, stop by the office. But I really want to know what's happening and how we can make sure that we get all rowing in the same direction again. Cedar Field's a great organization. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. First thing I want to do is, Tony and Sandy, are y'all here? Stand up for me. They have achieved an amazing goal as the finance chairs for our employee gift. $255,000+ was raised, and the employees this year in all three categories will get a 4% increase over their what they got last year. And the top full-time employees will get $1,300 plus. I think that was announced in your boxes. Everybody's got one of those. But I think we need to give a big round of applause to Tony and Sandy. Just a reminder that Chris was here, I guess, yesterday, and he'll be back on the 26th for a meeting here in the Fellowship Hall at 3 o'clock. So we'll get that out to everybody. January 26th, not the day after Christmas. We welcome 2 new area reps today that I know of. I think we have one more that's going to be also on board. But Ted McCormick in Area 15 and Rosie Whitehorn in Area 9 have agreed to take on the role as area reps. I'm grateful for them for that. Now we can go to the committee reports, and I think the first report is dining services. Robbie. And Robbie, this report can't be as long as the whole report.
Yes, sir. I'll run through it. Okay. Good afternoon. The dining committee met on November 30th, and I'll go through some old business first. Christine Watt gave an outline of a program for dining employee recognition, and this is going to be put in January 1st and will run throughout the year. The Four Seasons table, what we call the community table, that will be starting very soon, and you will all hear about that when it does. This is where people who come alone can sit with other people that have come alone, or even with couples. The air conditioning in the Atrium Cafe has been a concern, And we went through summer, and we're hoping that by next summer we will have something. Lacey Salamone has the answer. He has it's about $25,000, and we need the administration to approve that. If it's approved now, it will be ready by spring and ready for next summer. There have been several requests for milkshakes in the Atrium Cafe. Supposedly it was there already. So I'm going to make this short, Mike. The equipment that they had was sold. Got rid of, thrown out. And it wasn't working, and they looked for equipment, and it's very expensive. And in addition to that, it's highly maintenance intensive because it's electronics plus mechanical. So probably won't be milkshakes served in the near future. However, dining did talk about possibly having 1 day a month for milkshake day when it'll be produced by hand. The coffee machine, I know everybody talks about the coffee machine. That also is highly maintenance intensive. The company that installed it is the coffee company that they buy coffee from. And they've been bought out and whatever usual. There's no maintenance staff. The person who services this area is up in North. I keep saying North Jersey. It's North Virginia. So So current situation. Oh, the other thing is the satellite bar had limited success in November and December. This was originally, the rationale behind this is that if people want to come and meet others for dinner and want to sit down and have a drink first. And that was the rationale. And when you're waiting for your tables, if you want to have unfortunately, the minutes will say that it's going to continue through December, but there's been a change. There's a little problem with an unexpected staffing issue. So dining is going to regroup and see what they're going to do. Christmas holiday plans, you already saw that. It's been announced. There will be a brunch on Christmas Eve and a brunch with showcase on Christmas Day. And the Atrium Cafe will continue as usual. There's been a number of complaints relating to the quality, temperature, and timing of food delivery in the households in healthcare. We were surprised to find out that the cooks in the households do not work with the dining staff. They report to the household leader. And perhaps it might be time for administration to consider moving them into the under the supervision of dining. There might be advantages. I know this is a major issue. It comes up all the time in terms of the healthcare. So, if you want. That's it. Any questions?
Anybody?
Okay. All right.
Any questions? Okay, next up, Ms. Hutchison, Susan, Facilities. I'm sorry.
Communications.
Communication has no report listed. Right. Dining services, environment, the next one is facilities, right?
I have a report.
Who has a report?
Road Communications.
Okay, I have no report, but you're welcome.
My bad.
Communications Committee met on November 14th. We try to meet every month. We met on November 14th as we meet once a month. And first thing we did was look at the Cedarfield directory. And you know this recently, the wings have been added to the person's name and phone number. So, and that was an attempt to help people find that particular apartment number in the big house. The 7 apartments were listed on the D wing, and we decided that they really weren't on the D wing, that they were on the main corridor. So we asked that that be changed, and it will be changed. We looked at TV monitors, and we've decided that the monitor right outside this door should be, what did we decide? Should stay the same. The TV across the hallway has 974 as its content and should stay the same. We decided, or asking, that the administration parking lot entrance TV, the one on the 3rd floor that is now dark and has been dark for months, should be the dining menus, and if possible, should also show the daily activities. So that's in process as far as I know. The committee further discussed the acquisition of new name tags, which had come up that there were some very attractive name tags floating around from another retirement community. And so we have a committee researching that availability of it. One problem that we foresee is right now we are asked to wear them 5 days a month. And that would figure into the cost efficiency ratio. So that's in process. Jane Kelly is our representative on the new signage committee. Well, it's not new anymore, I guess. She told us that the first phase of the work done by that new company would include new door knockers and numbers for D-Wing residents. The Pictorial Directory Committee has not met yet, so that's still out there. The Myra reported on the new publication, which you heard about last month, Cedarfield Voices, has an editorial board in place. And on that editorial board, as you, I don't know if we've told you this or not, we've decided not to have an editor. That's a very big, time-consuming job. So we're going to have an editorial board. And on that editorial board, it's sort of sifted down through the months. On that editorial board will be 6 people, and none of us will have the responsibility of being the editor. That board includes Mike Steele, Jan Steele, Dolly Hentz, Vivian McCoskey, Myra Nagel, and me. We've all had some experience with publications, so I hope you will like the result. What we need from you, however, is ideas, willingness to write a story. If you see something that you think should be told, we would welcome that. We need artists, we need photographers, we need just about everything. So if you would like to be involved, we would love to have you. Thank you.
Thanks, Reverend. Now, Susan?
This report is an interim report and is going to be extremely brief. Hot off the press, the Engineering and Maintenance Department has completed their work on the automated work order system. And I tried it out this weekend. I put in 3 work orders, bright and early Monday morning, 9 o'clock. Thank goodness I was dressed. Sean appeared on my doorstep to come and fix a sagging pantry door. And we discussed the other items, some lights up on the 4th floor that need to be relamped, and I've forgotten what the other one was, but in any event, it works. It is so simple to use. You get on Touchtown, you scroll down to the very last item called Maintenance Services, and boom, it comes right up with a screen, and you can fill in whatever you need to have done. And I can't guarantee the quick turnaround, but they will come and take care of your needs on a timely basis, I promise. So that is very good news. You don't have to make a phone call. You just wait and they will come and work their magic. Okay, and one other thing, actually two, the difficult door project I think is finished, but I want to be sure. I went around and measured about 15 doors that people told me were hard to open, a lot of resistance. We used a weight scale so you could measure the poundage required to open the doors. Since then, that has been reported. Maintenance Services has corrected, as far as I know, all of them with the door closures to make them easier to open. If there are any other doors that you're having trouble with, see me after the meeting and I'll make a note of it. And finally, today, I went out to lunch and went down the walkway between C and D wing, and boom, here again, I had asked for solar lights to be put in the walkway. Yes, and the solar lights are in, so Merry Christmas, and thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Library, Sally. Say again? Okay. Vivian, you got no report on here. Yes. Come on. Sally, finance will be first.
I think
I provided a handout so that you might make better sense of some of the numbers that I'm going to give you. I realize the complexity of that. The Finance Committee met on November 1st to discuss the audited annual report on Pinnacle Living Obligated Group, and you'll see here what makes up that group. And it also includes, under Pinnacle Living, Windsor Mead and Hermitage Capital and Reserve Corporation. So this gives you the picture of what we have. All right. James Green led the discussion on some history of Pinnacle. The Hermitage Group were the first entities that made up Pinnacle. They were well respected and successful. Between them, they were able to save enough funds that allowed them to initiate the financing of Cedarfield. As they were the oldest, some of their features are not as popular now as they were originally, and changes are being made. They no longer offer life care and are mainly focused on assisted living and health care. Cedarfield does owe them a debt of gratitude for helping us to exist. Brown Edwards and Company, LLP, an accounting firm, purchased our former auditor, Mitchell Wiggins, and gave the audited report. You turn the page. This is Cedar Fields. In the fiscal year 2022, Cedar Fields statements of activities, there were changes in some amounts, and you notice the word restated. And those changes were mostly in the non-operating charges and reduced Cedar Fields' change in net assets from $15 million to $13 million. So there was a change from the previous year. In comparing the two-year statement, you will see revenue increased and operating expenses decreased, even though there was an increase in dining expenses and health care expenses, giving us a net operating income an increase. Also note, in the other non-operating charges, there was a large gain in 2021 and a loss in 2022. This is mostly due in 2022 to an unrealized loss on investments and a large interest expense. The change in net assets is much smaller than 2021, and you can see the difference at the bottom line. Several questions were asked and answered. The deferred revenue on entrance fees, $77,000, shows as a liability on Pinnacle Living obligated statements, is all from Cedar Field contracts. The property pledged as security for bond obligations, that's our security, is property. Repair costs incurred on warranty work are being sought from insurance companies and contractors. The sale of Hermitage, Northern Virginia will show a $17.5 million gain. Windsor Mead pays 9% to Pinnacle for shared expense allocation and is shown on their statements as a part of administrative expense. Profit from Senior Living Partners of Virginia, with a 50% ownership by Hermitage Capital and Reserve Corp, will probably take 3 years to materialize, which is typical for a startup organization. Any profit is to go to help Pinnacle entities. We had another meeting, that's the next page. The Finance Committee met on November 2nd to discuss the first quarter of the year. And this was just Cedar Field's thing. David Taylor reviewed the Cedar Field Statement of Activities and compared it to budget. He showed the total operating revenue was over budget, which was due to increased residency fees from new residents and ancillary service revenue and other operating revenue. Administrative expenses were over budget as well. Depreciation, dining, building and grounds, and shared expense allocation in operating expenses. All of that's shown right there. In other non-operating changes, contributions with donor restrictions were over budget, as well as investment income. Overall, most categories were close to budgeted amounts, as you can see from the attached statement. The change in net assets is modestly over budget. $311,000 over $287,000, very modest. As this is only the first quarter of the fiscal year, we can expect some changes. Predictions are that neighborhoods and households will be over budget, as staff shortages are creating a need to hire temporary health providers at a greater cost. Also, dining may be over budget due to staff and food prices. Also discussed was the statement of activities for CHCRC. There's still no revenue other than investment income. They did show that information that Pinnacle transferred $4 million to HCRC. The intent is for HCRC to invest this and other funds into investments and other nonprofit ventures to generate income for the Pinnacle obligation entities. And that is the 2 meetings that we've had. Thank you. Any questions?
Thanks, Carol. I'm sorry that we didn't have that on the list. Question?
What's HCRC?
Hermitage Capital Reserve, on that first diagram I gave you. Did you see that? Where it shows you that's part of Pinnacle?
Okay, and is senior living partnership the home health business?
Yeah, that's underneath it. We own 50% of it. That corporation owns 50%.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know it as home as senior living partnership.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 questions. One, is this an expense?
I can't hear you.
This financial information that you provided says Cedarfield.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Pinnacle Living as the entity, or is it just Cedarfield?
I provide Cedarfield information because that's what most of the residents have been interested in. If you would like to see the full reports, they're always in the library. So you can go to the library and see the audited report, and it will give you the complete statement. It's 5 pages long, and it has, if you know accounting, it's got a lot of different columns in there showing eliminations so we don't record the same number twice. So that's why I don't present it. I don't think anybody, unless you're an accountant, would understand it.
My question, or what I would like to know, because I am not literate at all in finances, is I would love to see where I could find whatever reserves for future medical care. We got a medical deduction. Where would I find that line item?
On the statement that, and it's not definitely related to medical, but there's an analysis and there's a liability that shows up on Pinnacle statements because they have to hold back part of the monies that they receive so that those monies can be invested and grow and take care of predicted through an actuary expenses as we get older. So that's it, but it's not just health care, it's bigger than health care.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay, we're going to go to, thank you, Carol. We're going to go to Sally with library, then we're going to drop back to Flower, who's going to do theirs now instead of later.
We had a library committee meeting in October, and Paul Gregg came by and confirmed that we will be keeping the wooden chairs that surround the large table, and the library committee will be raising money to probably create new cushioning for these chairs. We already have an unsolicited gift for that very purpose. And the newspapers continue to disappear, and we're taking every precaution and every step we can take to rectify that problem. And then a problem occurred November the 12th, or October 14th, where shelves fell down in the library. Since I took over in March, we've had 6 shelves collapse with books on them. 3 shelves fell on a maintenance team member who was attempting to repair the situation. I wrote a letter and sent it to Paul and also Lacey Salamone, detailing the facts and the liability to Cedarfield, which means all of us. And so I did run into Dan Neiman before the meeting, and I had a spare copy of that letter, and I gave it to him because no steps have been taken to date to rectify the problem, and Dan did say he would take care of it immediately. Thank you.
Louisa is going to do her report early instead of at the new business.
Thank you, Mike. There's a rumor there's a party here tomorrow that needs some decorations, so that's why I'm going early. I would like to ask your indulgence in the change of the name of the Flower Committee. The committee is a gathering of people interested in the promotion, discussion, advocacy, or opposition to an idea, action, or cause. For a committee, no specific talent is needed. It's often created for a specific time and place, and commitment to a committee varies upon the membership. We would like to be known as a guild. That's a name that goes back to the early 12th century in Europe. And the difference from a committee is a guild is a collection of people interested in providing a specific service to meet predetermined needs. It requires specific interest and talents. It encourages ongoing training and refining of skills for the task at hand. It fosters bonding among members. I thank the Cedarfield Flower Committee through the members' dedication to honing their arranging skills and to providing 30 fresh flower arrangements each week have earned the title of guild. I think this distinction of a flower guild will reflect well on Cedarfield. Furthermore, the committee members have unanimously endorsed this request, and I ask for consideration of it. Thank you.
Well, while we're here, we might as well make a motion. Do we have a motion on the floor that we changed the name? Second? This will require a bylaw change, and we've got to change the bylaws anyway. It's every 3 years. It's time for us to do a bylaw change here at Cedarfield. So, all in favor?
Yes! Thank
you. Buzz, Safety has asked to make a report, and Buzz May will be right up. See the microphone?
Safety Committee will meet again next month. We meet quarterly, and I request any concerns about safety. I really had 3 things to say. Number 1 is people are walking in the morning and at night. It's dark. Wear something bright and reflective. We're getting younger and don't see as well in the dark. Number 2, slow down. People are still going too damn fast on all of these roads, okay? It's not a racetrack. And number 3, check the batteries in your flashlights. Everybody in Wing D or in the cottages should have a night light that comes on when the power goes off. If you don't have one, contact Lacey. He's got a bunch of them. Okay? Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Does Welcoming have a report? No, no report. No ambassadors. Wellness and Leisure. Barbara?
I have a very short report. We met on November 15th, and I want to remind everybody that the staff has their 6-month planning, and this is the program staff, Katrin and Georgia and James. They have a 6-month staff program planning tomorrow, December 8th. So you can contact me. We've already gotten some people, or Katrin. You can email your ideas for that. And I hope you're all enjoying the football and basketball games on the big TV. I wanted to thank James Ferris, who's on the Wellness and Leisure Committee, for his help in putting it together. It does take time. I did it for a month or 2, and he took over, and he's much more knowledgeable than I. And I want you to know he added the Army-Navy game for all you veterans to enjoy this weekend on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other reports that I missed or we missed? On to the area, the first one I have is Area 5. Sally, good to see you.
Just real quick, we've been busy down on the lane at the end on Area 5. We had a couple gatherings, one in November. We have another one coming up on the 20th. We're going to be Christmas caroling up to the Parkview and on down the lane, and then gathering afterwards. So just trying to stay busy and active and enjoying our neighborhood. Thank you.
Area 6. Is there a report?
Well, we just had a gathering, and it was in the atrium. Maybe some of you saw that long table in there on Monday night, and it was very successful. We almost had 107 people there, and it was full of fun and surprises.
Okay. Area 7 report. Area 8, Sylvia? 7 and 8.
7 and 8. This is a joint 7 and 8 report. First, we want to welcome a new resident to Area 7. Her name is Jane Foley, and she is with the Cedarfield community in B Wing. So it occurred to us that many of our independent living residents don't access services that are available to them here at Cedarfield because they don't understand them or quite frankly have never heard of them. And that's for one reason or another. So this seemed like a situation that we needed to remedy. The first service that was brought to our attention was Helping Hands. What happened to it? Why did it go away? What do we do now? So as area rep for 8, I was asked this question often, and frankly, I didn't have an answer. Probably because I personally had not needed the service. No excuse. After some detective work on the Cedarfield app, I found something called Affirmation. I called Affirmation, asking if they would like to send a representative to Cedarfield, have dinner with about 25 residents, and educate us about Affirmation. Does it take the place of Helping Hands? How do we access it? Who pays for it? Well, we scheduled a dinner meeting last month for Areas 7 and 8. We had a packed house. 25 residents attended. Felicia Stevens from Affirmation and is our nurse liaison to Cedarfield was our guest speaker and did a great job educating and filling in the blanks for us about Affirmation services. In the future, it's our plan to have a speaker at our meetings who can keep us informed about matters concerning our lives here at Cedarfield. While we appreciate the many methods of communication we have here at Cedarfield, and they are most helpful, we find that the small area in-person get-togethers work really well, as it provides a space for asking questions, sharing ideas in a safe and comfortable setting. Areas 7 and 8 wish you a healthy, happy, and safe holiday season. And in addition to that, I was given recently something by a resident of Area 8. And it's regarding the proposed resolution that we're about to talk about. The pursuit of transparency and representation is not a new one at Cedarfield. I don't know if any of you remember a gentleman, Sam Dario. So this resident here in Area 8 gave me this. With it, the friend of mine here at Cedarfield gave me a note that had been written in 2004. It says, "We moved to Cedarfield Cottage and soon realized that management did not want residents to know facts of finances." This is from 2004. "We were kept in the dark until an accountant, Sam Dario, spurred on by several other residents, determined to lead us into financial awareness." Sam Dario passed away in 2020. Like many on our current residents, he was trusted, he was a businessman, a fine citizen of Cedarfield. I'm sure that among our current residents, there are a few people like Sam who would like to have the ability and desire to represent our Cedarfield on the board. And that was given to me very recently, and I thought it was worth passing on to you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Next one I have is Area 11. Don, are you going to make a report?
Submitted.
Okay. Area 12, Irene.
Hello, Area 12 report. On Halloween, Area 12 residents were surprised to find moon pies decorated as pumpkins at their doors. Detective work determined that the pumpkin man was Betty Mann. But wait, there's more. Wrapped bundles of chocolate candies appeared at our door for Thanksgiving. Yes, Betty Mann had shared her kindness with us once more. A holiday luncheon in the green room of Cedarfield Dining will take place December 14th. We're looking forward to it. Nancy Lee is coordinating the event, and Betty will be assisting. Thank you.
Thank you. Area 13.
This is a report from Area 13. We're delighted to welcome Brian Morgan, a new resident, to apartment 354. Area 13 had a lovely dinner meeting in the Prima Dining Room on December 6th. That's last night. Just made it. And our guest speaker was Charlotte Bailey, the president of Cedarfield Background. And thank you very much.
Thank you. The next one I have on here is Area 15, Ted McCormick, our new area rep for Area 15.
On Friday morning, November 18th, Area 15 held a meeting in the atrium. Residents from 13 of the 17 occupied units in the area attended. The purpose of the meeting was to select a new representative for Area 15. By unanimous vote, I am it. There was some contention, there were ballot tampering, but not enough to affect the outcome. The remainder of the meeting was a discussion of items of interest, including the forthcoming changes in the transportation services, efforts to have a Cedarfield resident on the board, concerns about the licensed side of Cedarfield, and the We Care Connect survey for Cedarfield residents. Area 15 met again on Sunday afternoon, December 4th, in the 4th floor hallway sitting area for a Christmas party. Hot chocolate and cookies were provided by the dining room. Approximately 20 residents and friends attended. The highlight of our gathering was the decoration of a Christmas tree and the gingerbread man theme. And if you haven't been up there to see it, I would encourage you to do it. Mike Greenwood provided the tree, and Peggy Sears furnished the decorations. We all sang Christmas songs and carols, led by Mike on the guitar, to close out the afternoon.
We can take that on the road, can't we, Ted? Area 16, Mary Rose.
delighted to have a new resident in Area 16. Most of you already know her. She's Alice Spillman. She has been a resident of Cedarfield on the lane for, I believe, over 23 years. So anything you want to know about Cedarfield, I'm sure Alice can tell you. And thank you, Alice. And we hope we'll all get to know her and she will enjoy living with us there. We think it's a pretty nice area. And also, the only other thing going on is that we're going to have a Christmas party on December the 16th. So we look forward to having all of our residents there. And we wish you all a Merry, Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
Are there any other reports? Carolyn?
Area 18 is probably the smallest area in Cedarfield. But we distributed hard copies of President Greenwood's memo regarding the proposed motion of a resident on the Pinnacle Board of Directors, the motion and the rationale. All residents received a copy. 2 replies in support of the motion were received back. There have been no residential changes in the area since our last month report, and we had dinner together in the dining room on November 17th. And Alice, welcome to the big house. Alice and I go back a ways. She and I had water aerobics together more moons ago than we care to remember.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we go on to the rest of our business. The only old business I had was we actually presented to Paul the resolution about Cedarfield projects, and he basically said that he wasn't really interested in that resolution. He would always be attuned to the residents' needs when they have projects, but that he wouldn't follow a resolution. We'll pass that resolution on to the interim and the new one. Right, Andy? New business today is we've got officers coming up, and I want you to meet. The nominating committee has met, and they've got 2 folks that have agreed to serve. The first one as president-elect would be Frank Miller. Frank, why don't you stand and come up and say a few words about yourself?
Thank you, Mike. Just want to tell you it's my pleasure to be in that position. But Mike, after if I tell you a little bit about myself, I actually was born here in Richmond in the Stewart Circle Hospital. We stayed here about 2 or 3 months until the war started, and my dad was called to go to Delaware. This is the first time I've been back since when we moved to Cedarfield. But I'm a graduate of Virginia Tech, civil engineering. I spent 2 years in the Army. Following that, I went to work for the City of Hampton as city engineer and then director of public works, where we had the responsibility for everything from buildings to sewers and engineering to garbage collection. Just about everything you could think of in the community. I did that for 25 years. And somewhere in that period of time, I managed to get a master's degree in public administration. About the 25th or 26th year, near the end of my career in Hampton, a lot of small communities were running into solid waste issues because the cost had gotten so high. So we started a public service that are very similar to the Central Virginia Waste Management Authority you have here. And we did collection and disposal of solid waste, we did recycling, we did composting, special waste, and all that kind of thing. When we retired from that, I was a consultant engineer for a while. As far as my voluntary background, I've been on 4 church boards, last one being Historic Christ Church in Irvington. Proud to say I was a 40-year coach and board member of both local and the Peninsula YMCA, Peninsula Metropolitan YMCA, either coaching or being on the boards, which I've enjoyed very much. It's very little about me that caused me to say yes when they asked me, mostly about you. My wife Grace Ann and I enjoy this place very much, and we'd like to become a part, even a larger part of what goes on here. This is a special place. And one thing I might add is yesterday when Chris was here and I was listening to the people talk, and there were people that had concerns, some of which have already been taken care of. But the thing I noticed is there were more people that said what a special place Cedar Field was than there were that had concerns. Thank you.
Many of you may know Mary Ann Bagby. She has agreed to serve as Secretary-elect. She had an emergency with something about her teeth, and she could not be here. But you'll see the ballots coming up shortly for these two folks, and you'll have 30 days to consider, and then we'll have the election and move forward. Another little piece of business I need to get out of the way before we get to the Board of Directors vote is that I want to make this official that the Communications Committee, what you heard Roe talk about, Cedar Field Voices, that needs to be approved as a name change or a change because Cedar Digest is no longer going to be in effect, and that is another bylaw issue. Do I hear a motion to change? Second? In favor? Aye. All right, the final thing on the agenda today is the business about a resident on the Board of Directors of Pinnacle Living. I think if you listened to Chris yesterday, he mentioned that he had talked to me, I had met with him, and we have a group that has put this thing together. We've tried to get it to all area reps and all the people within the area. And I guess right now, you've got a copy of it. The only thing that was changed is we just defined a little bit better what we were looking for, and that first paragraph kind of tells you. So are there any questions at this juncture? I have received several, Don Branson in his minutes said everybody in his area said yes. I've gotten several others that have said the same thing. Do I hear a motion to approve this resolution to be sent to Pinnacle Living to have a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Thank you all. It's been a long day. We'll meet again January 25th. Everybody have a great Christmas holiday, and we're adjourned.
Move chairs.
Move
chairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. If we want to help out, if anybody wants to stay and help out, or you can take your chair over to the side, that would be helpful. So Eddie won't have to move every chair in the building. So if you can take your chair over to the side, that'll save Eddie a little bit of time and space.